All right, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Yakov from the GMS Chicago branch coming to another lesson. Just praying for about Shah. If I start off, like start by giving all praise and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. I belong to the apostles of the Millstone Will. And salutations to you, brethren, doing this work in truth and sincerity. I would charity. All right, and this is going to be you know, a quick lesson. We'll be edifying, straight to the point, exhorting, to be like men, out there. It's more so for the men. All right, it's you know not to stumble. The beauty of a woman, man. All right, which you know if you've been in this truth for a year, 2 years, 3 years, then you know that, man. All right, and so forth on. This more so for like newer brothers, man. Because in this world teaches you to cater, all right, to the woman, man. You know, to be a so-called gentleman, right? Women, women first, all this queen of heaven worship, because essentially that's what it is, man. It's queen of heaven worship, man. All right, uh, and really it's soft, man, right? Because the scriptures gives you the order, man. All right, the scripture tells you, all right, it's the men, all right, then the woman, all right, then the kids. Now, there's nothing wrong with, of course, you know, uh, treating your woman kind, or whatever. We men, we got women, right? We treat them, you know, uh, we treat them with love, right? But hey, we're not being fools and simps out here, man. For their sakes, and that's what we have to remember, man. The scripture also says, as long as thou livest, give nobody power over thee. We ain't out here, you know, uh, serving our woman with all our heart, mind, and soul, man. No, hey, man. Hey, we focused first and foremost on Yahweh Bashim Shah, right? And then it's the brotherhood, right? Then, hey, then our women, Hey, because if you ask me, shit, my brothers come first, man, Now, of course, we got to take care of your household, you know, but, hey, the body of Yahweh Shah is more important. The scripture says, they that have women be as though they had none, you know. So, with that, I'm going to just read a few precepts and read it off. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure, right? So, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. But that's simply saying is don't be all caught up, on a woman's looks, man. All right, because there's more to that woman than just her looks, man. All right. See, and a lot of these women, they use their looks to entrap men. You know, they put on the makeup and the tight clothes and so forth and so on, and dial themselves up, make themselves look appealing. And if you being simple, and you go after, the woman with the fat ass, and like bros always say, you ain't vetted her. You know, you don't know nothing about her. And you can end up in a world of trouble, man. You know, so always vet. As bros say, always vet your woman, man. If you really, if you plan on being with her, you know, you got to make sure you vetting the woman that you with, and not just going after looks, man. Because the more good, the better she look in the society, most likely the more wicked she is, man. And that's just facts. Because, this society already caters to the woman. How much more, a good-looking woman. So she already got a whole bunch of orbiters, right? And then pumps up her head, you know, she just, with the social media, so forth and so on, man. So yeah, man, you gotta make sure her mind is right, man. The scripture says there's nothing more precious, than to have, a woman, all right, with a well-instructed mind, roughly paraphrase, you know. So this is Sirach, Ecclesiastes, like 7:26. It says, "I find more bitter than death the woman." It says, "Whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands." It says, "Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." Right? So hey, a lot of these women ain't nothing but traps and snares, man. And we gotta remember that. We gotta remember that and keep that in mind when dealing with these women, man. You know, their hearts, especially here in Babylon, man. You know, even if they don't even know it, man. Most of the time, if they don't even know it, it's just in them, man. A woman's MO is to break you, man. Right? That's why she always trying to see what she can get away with or what she can get you from doing. She trying to, make you like, oh, like, yeah, don't go out today, or, stay here with me, and, steady nitpicking, or, oh, why don't you do this, or why don't you do that, and once you do these things or give in, then she knows she's got you, man, and once she got you, she's gonna crush you, and once she crush you, she's gonna leave you, right, and that's just that, man, that's just how it works, man. So, hey, we have to understand these women. And the scriptures gives us the wisdom that we need, man. The scripture says, "Marvel not if she transgress against thee," man. The scripture says she will open her quiver to every arrow, man. The thirsty traveler, man. She will, drink their so forth and so on, man. So we already know the MO, man. Now, can you be can you find a woman that's, half decent? If the Lord bless, yeah. But shit, here in Babylon, man, shit, as they say, it's like a needle in a haystack. If that, shit. So, scan your P's and Q's, man. This is Proverbs 31:30. Favor is deceitful. It says, "And beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord shall be praised." Right? So, hey, beauty is vain, man. A woman that fears the Lord shall be praised. That's what it is. She has to fear Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. She don't fear the Lord. Fuck her looks, man. That's only gonna go so far. About her mindset, man. She has to have a mindset where she fears the Lord, where she is moldable, trainable. If not, man, she ain't gonna do nothing but give you hell, right? And I mean, that's not what we want. So, hell with that. This is First Ezra 4:26. It says, "Yea, many there be that have ran out their wits for women and become servants for their sakes." Right? So there's been a lot of men, right, who They ran out their wits for women, man. Just doing things that they never would have, you know, seen themselves doing, man. Right? Giving up morals, so forth and so on, just to please a woman, man. You know, we've seen it time and time again, man. So hey, man, we gotta, you know, make sure that we're, like I said, using wisdom when we're dealing with the woman, man. Right? Not not being fools and simps, man. All right, not going out our wits. Right? This is Ecclesiastes 9:8. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon her, like look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. For herewith love is kindled as a fire. Right? So there it is again, man. Always use wisdom, man. You know, remember the law, statutes, commandments, man. Right? When dealing with these women, you know, remember the scriptures, man. Remember that her heart is full of traps and snares, man. That way you can see through all the facade, man. You can see through the eyelashes. You can see through the makeup, right? And you don't fall for the tricks, man. Right? And the trickery, you know. Because at the end of the day, where is her mind, man? Is her mind towards the Lord? Most likely no, man. You know. So with that, I'm in love by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashman, Shabbat, Shem, Kakadas, double on the apostle, great millstone, real. And cites all you brethren doing this work with true sincerity with charity. Next time, Shalom, blah, blah, blah.